Hello all and welcome to Stelgim Place If My Heart Had Wings. この大空に翼を広げて This will be published on my website if I get time to it, and censored obviously, if there is anything indecent there. So just start. The bicycle road race is known as a really harsh sport. The hill climb in the middle is hell too. Seems like I have to take it down a bit more, and there we have it. Message speed a bit faster. While putting a strain on every muscle in your body, you have to continue pedaling without any brakes to climb a steep hill. At that time, I always think, I can't do this anymore. I'll make this race my last. Even though I think that every time, in the end, I still take part in the next race. I've endured severe training so that I don't put my feet down halfway through the hill climb. Why do you do that? Because once I finish the hill climb, I am waiting for my reward. Nothing compares for the feeling of cutting through the wind as I race down the downhill section at blistering speed. At that moment I feel an incredible rush. Then I realize that I have forgotten about everything. The pain of the hill climb, the strain on every muscle in my body, and the days of hard practice. It's not a matter of whether I win or lose the race. I just enjoy it, and that's why I continue to ride. That's how it should have been. I still didn't have much life experience at that time, and it was something beyond my imagination. Suddenly, without warning, something was taken from me. I could also say shut away or lost. However, to directly express the emotion I felt at that time, taken is the word that fits best. So, there was one thing that I learned. Life isn't all about having fun. I gained a lesson in life. The thing I lost was everything. I let myself get depressed about this, but I should have thought about it a little more. If something could be taken from me so abruptly, then something could be given to me just as suddenly. The wind blew. A gentle but strong wind. It would not be unreasonable to call it an encounter. What this could be the start of. Even now, there is still no way for me to know. The windmill is turning. People are overwhelmed just because of the size of such enormous things. This unnatural silhouette serves a function, but to those who don't know what that is, it would appear to be something very bizarre. Quite a lot. With so many lined up like this, it could be said to be even more overwhelming. But why is that? The sight of the white windmills lined up on the green hills somehow seems so picturesque. This is amazing, to think that something like this could be made. At the very least, 5 years ago there was nothing here, just a wide open space. I heard they were going to build a large-scale renewable energy research facility. The cell phone in my pocket vibrated to tell me I had received a text. It's from Amchan. To Aoi. Did you arrive here already? Sorry I couldn't come to meet you. My name is written using a Chinese character read as Aoi. is a difficult character and is often mistaken for Midori. What? Blue and green? I can't see it. Oh, okay. Incidentally, whether it is Aoi or Midori, it is often mistaken for a girl's name, which causes a few problems. I'll quickly write a reply. Hardly ever use text, so I find key touch awkward to use. I got here a little too early, so I'm just going for a stroll. The windmills are amazing. Okay, send.
Quick save しといたわ。
Thank you. The reply came quickly. They're great, aren't they? It's a new famous spot of Kasegaura. If you have any problems, contact me anytime. Amchan. Thank you, Amchan. I still don't know who that is. As I sent the text, I sat down on the grass. This place on the hillside is... so from there I was able to gaze at the lake and the town that stretches across the opposite bank. Yeah. The rapid redevelopment of the town of Kasegaura meant that the remnants of the old buildings from the Showa area are intermingled with the modern architecture. The view expresses both the past and the future at the same time. Question mark? Amazing! Something white floated across my field of vision. For a moment it looked like one of those windmill blades had come flying off, but there's no way that could happen. Hey, don't say that. Is it a paper airplane? Well, it does look like it. I got up and headed down the slope to look for it. Why? Why would you do that? The paper airplane, gliding gently, eventually lost its momentum and descended. Gotcha! I ran ahead of it, did a small jump and caught it in midair. Where did it come flying from? Judging by direction, it had come from the top of the hill. I answered my own question. At that time and a place like this, why could there be someone here besides me? I took the paper airplane with me as I climbed up the slope. Just as I was able to see the top. Another one. A sudden gust of strong wind blew the paper airplane out of my hand. Oh no! Ah! Hey, wait! I chased after the paper airplane, and ran up the slope. Then, just as I finally caught it. Oh, hello there. Wow. There was someone on top of the hill. It was a girl sitting in a wheelchair, looking fleetingly into the distant sky. A sudden breeze blew her hair and she combed it back with her fingers. Against the background of the blue sky and windmills that spread across my view, the girl's black hair and white blouse looked incredible. It was as if I was looking at a completed work of art. Oh no! The girl noticed me. I didn't mean to look at you, you know. At first I thought I should make an excuse for why I was there. It was like I had stepped into her world without permission, and I started to feel guilty. She's not saying anything. Some girl had just suddenly appeared, so perhaps she's being cautious. To show her the reason why I had come here, I held out the paper airplane. Did you throw this? The moment she saw it, her facial expression stiffened. She looks like she's welling up. Oh no! Suddenly, tears appeared in those delicate eyes. What? The tears that had welled up in the corners of her eyes came running straight down.
ちゃんと届いた。
It did. As I watched, great big tears came rolling down her cheeks. Huh? Hey! Without thinking, I walked up beside her. What's wrong? Do you hurt somewhere? Okay. As she shook her head, she touched her hand that I had unconsciously held out as if she were clinging to it. Her hand was small and trembling.
怖かった。
Squeeze. She gently squeezed my hand. It's okay now. I didn't know what the situation was. However, as I answered, I squeezed her hand back. What? Ouch! Before I knew it, there was something like a chicken at my feet, and all of a sudden it started pecking me. That's amazing. Nice hat. Oh, that hurts. What is this thing?
やめて。やめなさい。ハット？
Is that its name? Hat, as it was called. Calm down at their command. Oh. Is it a duck? The yellow beak and white feathers, it was a duck that looked like a chicken. For some reason it was wearing a hat. Well, you can obviously see it's a duck. Chickens don't have a beak like that.
ごめんなさい。私が泣いたから。あなたが泣かせたと勘違いしたみたい。
Ah. So this is how surprising it is to be suddenly attacked by an animal. However, thanks to that, it looked like she had stopped crying. Is the towel okay? I don't carry a handkerchief around with me. As I said that, without waiting for her to reply, I took a hand towel out of my bag. Of course, it had been washed, so it was clean.
ありがとう。
Why did you say that? Why were you crying? You could hurt somewhere.
そうじゃないわ。
Oh. As she answered, she pointed to one of the wheels of her wheelchair. It had lost its air and had collapsed. I see the problem. You got a flat tire?
おかげで立ち往生していたの。もう1時間もよ。
That's a terrible thing to happen. Just a mere flat tire for her is like having her legs taken away. Don't you have a cell phone?
部屋に置いてきた。
Ah. She answered, dismayed.
だから他の方法で助けを呼ぼうと思って。
She had paper nearby, on her clip.
そしたら SOS を受け取って来てくれた人がいたから。
Mm-hmm.
クイックセーブできたわよ。
Thank you. SOS? Oh, this? 困ってます。誰か助けて。カセコトのstanding? It probably say here in the bottom. I opened up the paper airplane that I still had in my hand. I'm in trouble. Someone help me. I'm on Windmill Hill. Yeah, I knew that. I just couldn't read the last 3 digits there. These two together, and that's a Tatsu, so yeah. So when someone arrived carrying the paper airplane, she felt relieved and started to cry. Now she was fine, but until just now, she was shaking. This must have been how scared she was. Hold on a moment. The bag at my feet rustled as I rummaged around inside it. When she saw the tools that I had taken out, she seemed confused. Would it be okay for you to get out for a moment?
どうして？
I'm gonna fix it. You can't go anywhere if you have a flat tire, can you?
そうだけど、 貸してもらってもいいかしら。
Of course, getting out of the wheelchair is not easy for her. What should I do? Except for taking my hand out? For the methods I seen on TV, is care workers do it by embracing them from the front. Oh, I see the problem. We both looked at stuff we'd imagined that situation and froze.
やっぱり自分で。
Excuse me a moment. As I put my arms around her sides of her back, I suddenly lifted her up. Whoa, she's so light. This was much lighter than I had expected. There's a bit too much momentum. Hup. Before she could grasp the situation, I put her down on the soft grass. I'll have it done soon, so hold on a moment. Oh, so that's me. Normally they don't show the faces of the main characters in these games. They're made in the same way as bicycle tires. I immediately started on the repairs. She's behind me, so I can't see her expression, but I had the feeling I was being stared at with contempt. As I was quietly working, the duck was waddling around me and pecking at the soil. Is this duck your pet?
違う。ただの同居人。
That's weird. Housemates?
散歩しようと思ったら勝手についてきちゃったのよ。ハット、あんまり遠くへ行っちゃダメよ。置いてっちゃうんだから。ぐわー。
Do ducks recognize their own names? When he's called, he responds by turning around. Hey, he's pretty smart.
そうなのよ。だから困るの。いたずらばっかりして。
As I looked at the duck, I saw her legs laid out on the grass in my field of vision. So she can't move them? There's a number of reasons why people need to use a wheelchair, but it looked like she had a disability with her legs. When I picked her up just now, her body stiffened up with surprise, but there was no strength at all in her legs. The duck returned from his little excursion. While walking around her, he would occasionally try to jump onto her lap.
邪魔。
She said as she made him get down again. As I watched this exchange from the corner of my eyes, I fixed the flat tire.
男の子ってすごいのね。そんな道具いつも持ち歩いてるんだ。
That's a mistake. We don't do that. That's not really the case though. I sometimes carry them with me.
私、草の上に座るのなんて久しぶり。柔らかくて気持ちいい。
As she said that, she made a little sound as she stretched.
いいところよね。ここ。
Yeah, it is.
部屋の窓から見えるのよ。一度来てみたかったの。
The wind blows through here. 5 years ago, there were no windmills though.
5年前？
I'll just come back to this zone.
そうなんだ。
She directed her gaze at something far away.
じゃああなたは故郷に帰ってきたんだ。
Yeah. She suddenly looked down and seemed lonely and strangely sad. There was an awkward silence as I continued working.
What?
The duck twisted its neck to look up at the sky.
どうしたの？ハット。
She was tempted to look up too. I wondered. Oh.
何かしら、あれ。
That was not me talking. I was thinking that was the guy saying anything. What's that?
何か飛んでる。
I can't see anything. There was something floating in the air. It was crossing the lake and gradually getting closer. Aeroplane. Whoa. first, I thought it was a paper airplane that she had thrown coming back to us, but it wasn't. It crossed the lake and eventually reached the air above the small hill where we were. An airplane? No. It's not paper, it's a real plane. But what this is? Its silhouette is much thinner than any plane I know, and the wings are really big. Ah, that's the name for it. Thank you. I'm going to save this to check the time. Oh. I want to save here. Oh. A glider? I repeated the name as if to confirm it, and then looked up to the sky once more. With its big white wings and wide silhouette, it reminded me somewhat of a seagull. Well, the glider is continuing to turn leisurely above our heads. It's flying ever so slowly. As it proceeded slowly across the blue sky, it seemed to be floating rather than flying. It looks like it would feel nice. The swirling glider looks as if it had given up on the rising and came down towards the top of our hill. I mean, it's not like it was coming down to land. Is it just reducing its altitude? Why don't we try waving? They might notice us. She earnestly stretched out her hand and waved towards the white aircraft floating in the sky. They can't hear you. I don't know if the pilot noticed us or not. However, the wings reflected a gleaming light, and it really did look as if it was answering us, calling out to it. Then, the glider turned its back to us and flew away, back to the other side of the lake, where it had come from. She mumbled sadly as she lowered her head. Hand, not hand. Extend the little wings which fly in the sky highly. I fixed the flat tire and went in with her into the town. This is the residential area on the opposite bank of the lake off to Windmill Hill, where we were just now. I'll take you back to your home. It seemed like she was going to say but before she stopped speaking. For a girl with a walking disability, just because she was shown a little kindness, she can't bring down some guy she hardly knows back to her house. Don't mention it. If your tie ever goes flat again, call me anytime. Ah, that's so cheeky. Oh.
What?
No, I didn't read that. I only said that as a joke, but she blushed and looked down nervously. Huh? If you're thanking me, you already did that just now. Yeah, me too. And I saw something unusual too. The glider that we had just seen was now flying in the air above the hill where we were just now. She murmured quietly and giggled. Coupled with her cute and dainty appearance was a lovely smile.
それじゃあ、もう行くわね。
Okay? Okay, take care.
ええ。
The wheels squeaked as she pushed the wheelchair along with her hands down an empty street. Behind her, the duck wearing a hat waddled along with her. Hey! She stopped her hands and turned to face me. See you again! She looked troubled and embarrassed and left without saying anything. She sure was cute. Where is she from? Her appearance was quite graceful, as she were the daughter of a rich family, and the talking method. A little lady with a duck. It was an odd combination, but they seemed strangely familiar with each other. Okay, I better go. Now I'm going to the dormitory called Flying Fish Manor. Due to certain circumstances, that place will be my new home. While walking along the gently sloping street, I looked up to the clouds moving above. Floating so freely like that, they reminded me of the glider. That distinctive silhouette had left a mysterious impression on me. And this is still the intro. Oh, I see a scary doll in the window. Oh, I finally found it. This place, is this it? Yeah. Flying Fish Manor. Ooh. There's such a big difference between its appearance and its name. That's like giving a tough-looking Japanese toaster a name like Lily. At least call it Mason Do Flying Fish or something. I can't speak French. Ugh, that's why even though I looked everywhere I still couldn't find it. Because I thought it's not this place. Completely ruled it out and then walked around and around this area. You see this symbol here? It's the same as that one up there. Must be it. Even now I still can't believe it, so I'll check the sign one more time, because I can't read that last sign. Flying Fish Manor, there's no doubt about it. Even so, I'm still not entirely convinced. I mean, I know a lot about this place. Whoa. This isn't a horror game, is it? It's an old European style building on the shore of the lake, and because its appearance is a little spooky, when we were kids we called this building the Witch's Mansion. You can't mean this. Oh, please let this be a normal dating game. As a test of courage, we would often sneak into the yard. I got so spooked right now. We just thought it was a rich person's residence, but it's a dormitory. Keifu Private Academy Student Dormitory. I can't just stand there in shock. Okay. I took a deep breath and stood up straight. May I come in? There's no one here.
Oh. あら？お客さん？
Lightly dressed girl. Ooh. Where am I looking? Whoa! Suddenly a girl in the underwear appeared before me, and the expression that I hadn't tried so hard to straighten out scrambled.
どちら様ですか？
Right, why? She's the one who will be worried about having been seen, but why am I the one feeling under pressure?
訪問販売はお断りしてます。どうしたの、かなちゃん？なんかお客さんみたい。お客さん？男の人？
From inside, the other girl This one was wearing clothes. She showed her face, but when she saw me, she let out a scream. At the same time, the glasses she was wearing looked like they were about to slip off.
カナちゃん、ふくふく。どうしたの？
Another girl appeared.
あ、ゆかさん。知らない男の子がカナちゃんの裸を。
Oi, she's not naked.
なんですって？
Hey, hey.
記録した。
What? Huh? No, that's not it. Just like a good observation, my cell phone rang. The word "mom" was shown on the display. Excuse me a moment. I quickly pressed the button to answer the call while swiftly escaping outside. Mom!
そろそろ飛び噂について落ち着いてる頃だと思って。どんな感じ？
It's horrible. Well, the place is full of girls. And I saw one in her underwear.
当たり前じゃない。だってそこ。
Yeah? Oh no. Oh no. Yoshiko. Yoshi send you. That's only for girls. I checked the sign over and over, but then I noticed some small writing in the corner. Girls' dormitory. This is a girls' dormitory?
あら、言ってなかったかしら？
Fuck you! Did you do this on purpose? What is this? What kind of mother are you? From now on, I'm going to be this place dorm mother, aren't I?
大丈夫よ。オーナーさんも寮生の方たちも了解してくれてるから。
Just know they were screaming at the top of their lungs.
あら、間違えて更衣室入っちゃった？
I wish that damn mother of mine, she's enjoying this situation. Creak. The front door opened slightly and the girls from just now were peeking through.
どう？サナちゃん。まだいます。
When they called out to them, like a surprised turtle, they pulled their faces back inside and shut the door. What should I do about this?
クイックセーブ完了しました。
There is a typo there, but I said the right word. Well, this is the situation.
ほうほう。じゃああなたが新しい寮母さんなんだ。
Yes, I'm the new dorm mother. While I was explaining the situation, the boarding students, apart from the girl in the underwear, who was putting on some clothes, surrounded me but kept their distance and watched me. Why isn't she embarrassed? This is not good, they said. Boy being in the dorm mother of a girl's dormitory.
いいんじゃないの？
From behind the underwear girl, she was very close now, but they were pretty gaudy. There were some girls who looked like they were hiding, but they were nodding and agreeing.
誰か来てくれないともっと困るから。そうなのよね。でももっと年配の人だとばかり思ってて。
Oh, a new guy.
はい。
Incidentally, there's no one more person than before. She was kind of timid and looked to be the same age, or maybe a year younger than me. I'm not looking. What is it?
葵くんって言ったっけ？年はいくつ？
Too old.
すぐロードします。
I'm still a student, but from tomorrow I'll be going to Kefu Academy. Whoa! Again, I have to fix all this.
考え事をしていると他のことをよく忘れるんだ。私はバカ。
Huh? I'm in the second grade.
へえ、じゃあ年下なんだ。にやり。
Hee hee, she said. What do you mean, hee hee? The person who came to speak to all of you is my mother. And, well, she kind of half-tricked me into accepting the job as store mother. My mom has a job connected to real estate and her company manages property.
ですって。どうしますゆかさん。チェンジします？そういう事情なら。
The person who seemed to be older said so, and other people reluctantly nodded in agreement. This is just until the owner caretaker comes back or we find someone else. I apologize for the inconvenience, but for the time being, let's all try to get along. Once the conversation was over, naturally everyone left and went back to their rooms.
いやー、なんかごめんね。みんなおぼこい娘さんたちのもんで、若い男を前にして舞い上がっちゃってんのよ。私はしぐれかな子。なんかあったら私に言ってちょうだい。管理人さんの部屋は1階の廊下の突き当たりよ。
Thank you very much. Was that all of the boarding students? There's the underwear girl, and Kaneko, who is with me now. Yuka, the taller girl with the long hair, and Sana, the girl with the glasses. The timid one who came from the back is Ryoko. That's 4 people altogether.
ああ、もう一人いるんだけど、いわゆる引きこもりというやつで。そのうち出てくるんじゃないかな。
Oh. In other words, there are 5 boarders in total. This building is pretty big, but there are only 5 people living here. Come to think of it, my mom did say that there were quite a few empty rooms. It's old and a little far from the school, so maybe that isn't that popular?
汗かいちゃったから、もう一回お風呂入ってこよっと。
And before you do that, I'll change the sound again. You know, the music is great, but yeah.
セーブデータを上が。
Anyway, the conversation ended well, so I'll call my mother to let her know. So in the end, we somehow worked things out.
さあ、それはよかったわ。言っておくけど、寮の子に手出しちゃダメよ。
Hey! What are you talking about, Mom?
まあ、問題にならない程度ならいいけど。あ、それから、前に言ったと思うけど、一人足の不自由な子がいるから。
Suddenly the sound of flapping wings came from down the hallway. Then a shrill voice sounded out.
待ちなさい、ハト!
Is that the reluctant girl? The hikikomori?
わー!
Huh? Something big and white came flying down the hallway, and from behind, at breakneck speed. Was the girl in the wheelchair?
このバカアヒル！私のパンツ返しなさい！わっわっわっ！
The big white thing, which somehow seemed like a duck, was flapping its wings and flew behind me. The girl in the wheelchair avoided all the obstacles in her path, in other words, me, and chased down the duck like a drift racer. I was so overwhelmed with the speed I couldn't say anything.
捕まえたわよ、ハト。
The girl in the wheelchair caught the duck at my feet and snatched away a small white cloud, possibly panties, from his beak.
まったくあんたはいたずらばっかりして、今度やったら北京ダックにしてやるんだから。
The girl put the duck on her knee and lectured him. I remember seeing that before. However, is somehow a lot different to the image she had during the day. In the daytime, she seemed more dainty and delicate. However, her appearance was the same. Ooh. It's not often that you see such a pretty girl. Looks like your tire is in good condition.
Huh?
She finally realized that there was a guy standing there.
もしもし葵、聞いてるの？
Yeah, what was it?
足が不自由な子がいるから面倒を見てあげてねって話よ。
Sure, I got it. Okay, talk to you soon, Mom. I replied as I ended the call.
どうしてあなたがここに？
She got as far as saying that, but then realized that she has a small cloth in her hand and tried to hide it by stuffing it under her backside.
なんでここにいるの？新しい寮母さんだよ、小鳥ちゃん。
Kanako, who was supposed to be having a bath, poked her head out.